Jim in Ohio. You are live on SkepGen. How's it going, Jim?
Very good. And by the way, welcome back. You were missed.
Thank you. I am just getting your name here in the lower third.
Okay.
And you, I believe, are looking good. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, I know the call screen had told you, but I called you about maybe a couple weeks before you went on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
You were solo that time. I remember that. And I was wondering if I was being a hypocrite.
Okay.
Because I tend to believe that there's life elsewhere in the universe, even though there's no evidence or proof to support it. And I wonder if I was being hypocritical because I expect the same from theists. What's their evidence? What's their evidence? And,
Sure.
And you were able to answer that. And one of the things you referred me to a book by Richard Dawkins. I forget the title, but I'll look it up. Haven't had time to read it. So many books, so little time.
I get that.
And there's a couple of things. People in the comments also added suggestions, which I didn't think at the time. I don't know if I was on to something else or maybe just go back. So when I came back, those suggestions have been dropped. And I just wondered if there's some way I could get them back. And this time I would make a note of them. Or if the people who sent the comments are listening, and maybe they'll repost them.
Got it. So can I repeat that? Because I kind of lost you a little bit. Are you saying that you had a couple of suggestions that were given to you for, kind of places to go with that, and you lost the list?
Yeah.
All right. Atheists, assemble. If you are in the comments, if you are watching either live or after the show, if you have relevant material, definitely pop that in the comments so that we can share that with each other. You're looking for atheist, skeptic books that revolve around what exactly?
Well, for one
life
thing,
existing outside of Earth?
Well, one of the things you mentioned was some experiment scientists are doing, and I don't know if they went far to actually create life, probably not. But, that life or natural could be recreated to some extent, like laboratories. Like, I guess maybe they found the basics or something like that.
Got it. So you're looking more for studies about how abiogenesis occurs, right? How life from non-life kind of gets rolling.
Yeah, and I'm not very technical, so something strictly for lay people.
Ooh, that might be a little tougher, because I've definitely seen studies. I could not tell you off the top of my head which ones, but we have definitely been able to see that really, really basic, I believe, like amino acids, occurring naturally through different processes have been studied. But yeah, no, this is definitely a good place for a call out to the community to get together, because that would be a really interesting topic to talk about anyway. But as far as like whether or not you're a hypocrite, do you want to talk about that, or do you feel comfortable in the way that we addressed that before?
I feel comfortable about that, but there is a second part to the question after I hung up, and sometime when I would think about it.
Sure.
I could see, like I said, I'm an atheist, because I know some people sometimes try and regularly come in and say they're atheist, and then, I'm an atheist. I mean, a theist.
Okay.
But I try to see theist side of things so I know how to come back. And it occurred to me that a theist could place God in the role of scientist. The scientist is in the laboratory. He's got this experiment, and he can tweak a little. He can add something. He can take away something to see what happens when we do that. And I could see a theist putting God in that position, like God is the scientist. And with a case where he can tweak the experiment with its miracle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
would you have a response to that?
Well, it's definitely an accusation that has been created already, even though we haven't always had the technological capability. The accusation of playing God. And if somebody were to create a synthetic life from non-life, and then start the chain of evolution that they could, that their creatures could call that creator God. And the idea that, a God could just be the scientist who got the work going in the petri dish that is our universe. is definitely like a concept that
Yeah,
I've interacted with.
like people who think that maybe it was aliens that seeded life on Earth.
Yeah.
And that's why UFOs are coming, because they're checking in on their experiment.
Well, at that point, you start getting into conspiracy theories that I
Yeah.
am not equipped to respond to. I definitely know the limitations of my knowledge and understanding. I know that,
Mine too.
yeah, and when it comes to conspiracies, there have been conspiracies that we know have happened, but making the assumption of conspiracies often relies on a lot of underlying, thought processes people have of, distrust of large organizations, of governments, of this and that, whether rightfully or not rightfully. But with that aside, I can respond to the idea of some creator God just being, that scientist in the lab, and ultimately we want to apportion our behavior to, our confidence in certain things. If I'm not
Hmm.
100% confident in something, I'm not going to go all in on it. And there are plenty of people who've kind of come up with this unprovable idea of a god, whether it be some scientist in a lab that got things kicked off, or panspermia, some outside extraterrestrial beginning to life on Earth. Don't know. I really don't know. But what I do know is I'm not going to burn precious time in my life on it until I've got good reason to, you know. And
Yeah. It's like,
I'll keep an open mind, but like the Tim Minchin song, um, not so open that my brain falls out.
exactly. I always like that quote.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
It pretty much sums things up. I know you have other calls. Do I have time for a couple of quickies? And these are quickies. Uh,
Yeah,
Flip it.
let's do one more, and then we'll move on to Trent after that.
Okay. Well, both of them have to do with previous callers. I think this was last week. Like, I forget his name. Uh, but the one whose life was destroyed by people spreading lies about him, he lost his job, lost a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder if he consulted lawyers about that. Uh, even if not for himself. You mentioned how people who are crappy will be crappy to other people. If they're crappy to you and you leave, they'll just switch it to somebody else. And at least take them would put them on notice. You know
I
what I mean?
Yes, and I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know to what extent
Yeah.
getting legal help
Neither
would
am
be
I.
there. But I would say that conversations like that are kind of best in the comments, because often the people who call in will read the comments, just like you read the comments and got those resources for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that
Hmm.
having them on air would actually not be as beneficial as letting the community weigh in and letting them be a part of that
Yeah.
too. So let's hold
I'm
off
not
on.
very.
Go ahead.
I'm not very technical, so I don't know how to send or receive comments. So I'll try to have somebody tell me how.
Got it.
And before,
That would definitely be
I
worth
just wanted to,
looking into. Yeah. One more thing, and then
I
we'll move
just
on.
wanted, yeah, I just wanted to tell V hi and glad that they're back.
I will
Hope,
pass the.
hope they're doing well.
They are. They are still asleep. They are sleeping in, and they deserved it. They absolutely deserve it. They have had a tough week this week. But Jim, thank you for sticking around, and thank you for coming back. And it's good talking to you.
Thank you and welcome back.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
That was nice. That was nice. Yeah, V's doing well. We actually went on a double date last night, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. Things are doing okay, and I'm really happy about it. So, yay.